Alright, so today we're going to cover saturation in DaVinci Resolve. Let's get into it. So realistically, there are a couple of different ways that you could grade with saturation in DaVinci. The first way is the classic way. You come in over to your primaries. So you come right over down to the saturation tool and you just boost it. And you're just like, yeah, I feel like this looks pretty good. As I look at this image, I can start to see that the Home Depot bucket looks a little too orange. So let's say, for example, we just reset that, right? I wanted to only isolate with the Home Depot bucket. And I was like, man, it looks a little too flat. So what I would do is I would come over to my curve tab and I would go to hue versus saturation. And I'm going to select on hue versus saturation. And that is going to bring up the points of that saturated image. Now I'm going to select the middle point and I'm just going to increase that ever so slightly. If I wanted to kind of look more orange in the sense of what the Home Depot bucket looks more naturally, then I would just boost that just a tad bit. It would not look oversaturated the way that I used saturation previously. Final method is realistically a way that I was taught through Cullen Kelly. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over to your saturation node, click on your color space, and you're going to find HSV. And then on top of that, that's going to change your color space from RGB to HSV. You're going to come to your channels, deselect 1 and deselect channel 3. You're going to come right back over to your color wheels and just adjust the gain. This gives you much more control over the saturation. And you can also see that the bucket isn't looking as orange and reddish as prior. Again, you can just use that gain tool. You're going to just use just the green to adjust that gain. And then if you wanted to use gamma, that is going to affect the more desaturated portions. You can start to see that if you do that, it kind of adds a little more color to the final image. But realistically, if you're just trying to impact more of the saturation, you just want to use the gain tool. And that is how you can do saturation in DaVinci Resolve.